What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again to talk about the SEC championship game this Saturday as my Alabama Crimson Tide will travel to Atlanta, Georgia to face those Georgia Bulldogs who will be traveling from Athens, Georgia, which is only about an hour. So both of these teams really won't be traveling very far. It's only about an hour and a half for my Alabama Crimson Tide. So basically the same amount of time or distance, you know what I'm saying? Georgia will be the home team and Alabama will be the road team. Okay, so but anyway, Georgia, they are 2.5 point favorite with the over and under at 47 and a half. I think this is gonna be a really close game. And it's 47 and a half. I'm gonna still take the under. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you what I think about this matchup and attempt to make a score prediction. But it's really hard, you know, deciding this game. All right. I ain't talking about a score prediction. I'm talking about who I think gonna win the game. I'm really on the fence. You know, usually I'm out here yelling about and screaming my Alabama Crimson Tide. I know I made a video the other day talking about what Alabama gonna do when they come to Atlanta, Georgia. But guess what? That video is made from the past, just based off the past. So it's all about the present right now. But anyway, when you look at these Georgia Bulldogs, man, they are much improved, you know what I'm saying, offensively and defensively. They really haven't been getting slow starts as of late. I know they only scored 16 points against Georgia Tech. I know that, but I don't care. All right. They are a much improved team offensively and defensively. Gunnar Stockton out here has turned into a Heisman Trophy candidate. I think Zachariah Branch, the leading wide receiver, has showed that he's a hell of a wide receiver and can show up at big moments in the game. Nate Frazier has always been that guy ever since he put on the daggone red and black. I know he had fumbling issues in the past, but that seems to be a thing of the past. Chauncey Bowens, you already know what he did against Alabama the first time we played back in September. Okay, but when you look at Alabama, when we played in September, our defense was not as good as it is now. Our defense is much improved, especially in the run game. This run defense is excellent now. Now, I know last week Auburn picked up 411 yards. They did that, but it didn't look like it to me. They had a couple of big runs, but that's about it. That's about it. So I'm loving what our defense is putting out right now. The offense is the issue with this Alabama football team right now. The offense. Can we move the ball against this Georgia defense? Now, I think we can, but I think it also is going to be through the air because we have a deficiency in the run game. And now we're without Jam Miller. And our run game was working last week against Auburn. And Jam Miller went down. And before that, we kind of went away from the run game, even though it was working. If the run game is working against Georgia, let's stick with it. Let's stick with it, okay? I think Jeremy Bernard, he's going to be much of what he's been throughout the season. Ryan Williams, I believe he's going to show up this game. Ryan Williams done had an off year. And I think this is the game that he's going to show everybody, I'm still here, baby. Isaiah Horton, he showed up last week. Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, they was dealing with some nagging injuries. And Isaiah Horton showed up. Of course, Isaiah Horton hasn't been used as much as Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard. Even though he's been on the field, he hasn't been targeted that much. But guess what? When his number was called, he performed to the highest level against those Auburn Tigers. Damn sure did. What our run game will look like against Georgia, I don't know. But as an Alabama fan, I'm used to not having a run game. Okay, we done had games where we ran the ball pretty good. But also we done had games that we just couldn't run the ball. So How will it be against these Georgia Bulldogs? And you know these Georgia Bulldogs, they defense is predicated on stopping the run. But I think we will get a majority of our yards and our production through the air. Now, one thing about it, this offensive line is definitely got to protect Ty Simpson. You seen what happened against Auburn. Auburn was blitzing all night, and I'm expecting that from Georgia. I am expecting that from Georgia. What we did back in September against Georgia, we ain't going to be able to do this week. And I think what Georgia did against us back in September, they ain't going to be able to do. I don't think Georgia going to be able to run for 200 yards against this current Alabama defense. I just don't. Yeah, they might get some explosive plays in the run game, one or two, but it won't be as many as they did the last time. What, they picked up 170 something yards off 6 explosive plays. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. 6 explosive running plays. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. Okay, so, but anyway, as far as our defense, we're really good at creating turnovers. And hopefully we can create a couple in this game. All right. Georgia, they done created turnovers too, not as many as Alabama. But whoever win the turnover battle, that's who's going to win the game. But if nobody turns the ball over, this is going to be really close, in my opinion. My opinion. So, you know, I know Georgia fans, a lot of them, half of them on the fence, you know. They half of the fan base don't want to play Alabama. Half of the fan base do. Half of the fan base don't want to be in the SEC championship. Half of them do. And the half over here, they want their lick back. And they coming into this game confident, as they always do, and as they should. They got Kirby Smart on the sideline. They got a hell of a team. They 11-1. And they ain't lost to nobody but Alabama. So they got revenge on their mind. I can guarantee you that. Okay, so, hey, it is what it is. One thing about it, Georgia really don't have nothing to lose in this game. Alabama do. Even though the committee bumped Alabama up 1 spot to number 9, I still think it's a chance that they don't get in the playoff if they lose. Even if they lose close. That's just my opinion. I know they saying, you know, they got a buffer now. They got a buffer zone. I wouldn't take that chance. If I could win, do everything I can do to win this game, that's what I do. And I think that's what Coach Kalen DeBoer and my Alabama Crimson Tide is going to do. Everything they can do to win this game. Who wouldn't? Just like I think Kirby going to do everything he can do. Him and his dogs can do to win the game. Even though they ain't got nothing to lose if they lose other than a bye week. So, hey, it is what it is. But let's compare the numbers. When it comes to those Georgia Bulldogs offensively, they're averaging 225 yards passing and 190 yards rushing for a total of 416. 190 yards rushing is damn good. All right. When it comes to Alabama's offense, 278 yards through the pass game, 126 rushing for a total of 404. So Georgia gains slightly bit more yards than Alabama on offense. 416 to 404. So 12 yards more. Not much. But Georgia in the run game, they average about almost 70 more yards in the run game. And in the pass game, Alabama averages about 50 more yards. Okay, so the numbers are pretty even. When you go to the defense, Georgia, they allow 204 yards through the air and only 86 on the ground for a total of 290. And when you look at Alabama, we give up 157 yards on the ground, 157 yards through the air, 124 on the ground for 282. So Alabama gives up 8 yards less, all right? And we give up Georgia gives up about 53 more passing yards. About 53 more passing yards than Alabama. but we give up about 40 more yards on the ground. So the numbers are it's not that much, not that big of a deal. I think it all gonna boil down to individual play. That's what I think it's gonna boil down to. Who's gonna step up for each team offensively and defensively? If I had to choose on offense, I'm saying Ty Simpson. If I had to choose on defense, I'm gonna go with Georgia like to run that ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm going with Bray Hubbard. Bray Hubbard creates turnovers. This guy has forced 4 fumbles this year, and I think he's got 3 or 4 interceptions. So Bray Hubbard, he creates turnovers. So I'm going with him on defense. All right. If I had to say with Georgia, I'm going Nate Frazier in the run game. Nate Frazier. Now, if Georgia wind up passing the ball more, I'm gonna go with Zachariah Branch, or either freaking Gunnar Stockton. But as for now, I'll go with Nate Frazier in the run game. On defense, I really don't know. I know Georgia is really high on C.J. Allen, but you got to look at it. C.J. Allen, 3.5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss. Come on now. Are those great numbers? Now, he got a whole bunch of tackles. He got about 80-something tackles on the season. But I look at Henry Told when he was with Alabama at linebacker. This man averaged over 100 daggone tackles one season, but he was in no way stellar. The only reason he was averaging all those tackles is because the opposing offense was getting to the second level of the defense. That's why. Come on, man. But anyway, and I compared C.J. Allen's number to Yonza Pierre. Yonza Pierre, I think he got 6 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles or something like that. So I'm just saying. And he ain't started but about 5 or 6 games. And C.J. Allen, I believe, started every game. Just comparing the two. But anyway, looking at the quarterbacks, Gunnar Stockton, over 2,300 yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. While my quarterback, over 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Okay, so who got the better numbers? Who got the better quarterback? I'm not even going to say Alabama do, because Georgia run the ball more. I think they're more of a running team than a passing team. Okay, so I'm gonna just leave it at that. All right. But as far as the run game, we already know Georgia got the better run game with Nate Frazier and Chauncey Barnes. That right there is a freaking no-brainer. Freaking Nate Frazier got over 800 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns. He also got a touchdown through the air, while Chauncey Barnes, he got about 500 yards. Not quite, but I'm saying 506 rushing touchdowns. All right, they got the better run game. But my Alabama Crimson Tide got the better passing game, okay? So, and we just love to pass the ball for some reason, even when the run game is working. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the run game was working against Auburn last week, and there was times in the game that we went away from it. I believe that's how Auburn made their comeback. But anyway, as far as both defenses have improved, but I like my Alabama defense. I think my Alabama defense is better than Georgia's defense. That's just me. Okay? That's just me. All right. I know we give up. How many yards did I say we give up in the run game? And Georgia only giving up like 89. Okay, we give up 124. That's a long way from where we came from. Long way. As I said earlier, Georgia ran for like 230 something yards on us. I don't think they'll be able to do it this time. They might pass for that. They might pass for the 157 we give up, maybe a little bit more. But they damn sure won't pick up a daggone 100. Where they average 190 yards rushing. No, they won't get that. At least in my opinion, they won't. All right, so hey, it is what it is, man. Far as the defense, man, Georgia, they got 24 sacks on. Well, we're gonna do it like this. They got 67. Well, my Alabama Crimson Tide got 67 tackles for loss, while Georgia got 52. My Alabama Crimson Tide got 24 sacks on the season, while Georgia got 17. My Alabama Crimson Tide got 10 interceptions, while Georgia got 8. My Alabama Crimson Tide got 9 fumble recoveries, while Georgia got 3. So I think my Alabama Crimson Tide is better. That's just me. According to the numbers. Now, listen, according to the numbers, it says that Alabama's defense is better. According to the numbers, okay? We got more pass breakups and shit like that. But Georgia is better than us at stopping the run. But I just think that's because first through the middle of the season, Alabama was giving up a lot of explosive plays on the ground. But as of late, the last 5-6 games, this Alabama run defense has been stout. Just want y'all to know that. So, hey, it is what it is, baby. Hey, let the chips fall where they may. That's all I can say. If Alabama lose, I will not be surprised. If Alabama win, I will not be surprised. If Georgia win, I will not be surprised. The way they playing right now, I would not be surprised. I don't care what they did against Georgia Tech. They going to be ready for this game simply because, well, they ready for every game, but they going to be extra ready. They're going to have more motivation, more determination, more anger because it is Alabama and they want that win. They want to get that stigma off that they can't beat Alabama. That's what they want. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it. Yeah. So some fans, like I said, they're on the fence. They on the fence. Some Georgia fans. But I can guarantee you, most all Alabama fans think they can go in Atlanta and beat Georgia again. I guarantee it. Okay, B? I'm a little on the fence, you know what I'm saying? But guess what? I'm going with my Alabama Crimson Tide. I have no choice. Why would I pick why would I pick Georgia to beat my Alabama Crimson Tide? Shit, you ain't did it in 10 out of 11 damn times. 1 in 10. That's what them Georgia Bulldogs are. So why would I pick them? Even though I'm a little on the fence. I know they got a good team. But it just seems that old Kirby, when it comes to Alabama, he can't get it done. He cannot get it done. Okay? So until he do that on a consistent basis, I'm going to continue to pick my Alabama Crimson Tide. I don't care if Kirby beat us this time. I'll pick Alabama the next time because he haven't been consistent. This will just only make 2 times. 2 times out of 12 if he win. And if he don't, it'll be 11 out of 12 for my Alabama Crimson Tide. Yeah, 3-0 for Coach Kalen DeBoer. Now, if Alabama win this game, it really is, well, it's already an Alabama problem. I mean, damn. And we already proved that, so. But I am hoping that Coach Kalen DeBoer can go 3-0 against Kirby just like he is against ex-Kirby assistant Dan Lanning. Matter of fact, ex-Nick Saban and Kirby assistant Dan Lanning. Yeah. Kalen DeBoer's 3-0 against that guy. And hopefully he can do it against Kirby. He beat Dan Lanning twice in 1 year. Hopefully he can do it against Kirby. Hopefully. But if he don't, hey, just another notch. Just another notch. That's all it is. But I'm going with Alabama. And like I said, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. So, you know, I got my Alabama Crimson Tide winning this game. And I'm giving my Alabama Crimson Tide. We're going to say 20. I'm believing in Connor Talty, too. I'm believing in Connor Talty. My Alabama Crimson Tide. 27. 27. Georgia Bulldogs. I took the under then. Yeah, I took the under. So 27. I'm Georgia Bulldogs. Dang, man. We can't seem to win by double digits. So I'm gonna take the score down. Alabama 24 was same 24 points we had last time. But Georgia 17. Yeah. 24-17. My Alabama Crimson Tide. That's what I'm going with. 24-17. That sound like a good score to y'all? Sound like a good score to you? Yeah. 24-17, my Alabama Crimson Tide. But, if it's the other way around, like I said, I will not be surprised. Okay, so hey, until then, y'all be blessed. And remember, old KB don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. And roll damn Tide.